Yai dai 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 dai, yai dai 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 dum. Ay yai 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 dum. Yai dai 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 dai, ya ba yai dai dai dum. Ay ya dai dai dai, ya dai dai dai. Ay 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 dai. Ay 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 dai. Ay dai 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 dum. Yai dai 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 dai, yai dai 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 dum. Ay dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai, yai dai 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 dai. Ay 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 ay. Yai dai dai dai, ay 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 dai. Ay dai 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 dai. Yai dai dai dai, yai dai 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 dai. Ay 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 ay. Boker Tov, good morning. It is so hot already. This morning consisted of dropping Alice to camp, dropping my car off because, all of a sudden the brakes just decide that they don't want to work. It's all part of being an adult. Somebody said, "Oh, being an adult is so overrated." Yep, sometimes it certainly is overrated. But it was, one of those things. I was taking my car in for an oil change, so that would be nice and quick and easy. And then, I don't know, yesterday their brakes are grinding. Today they're barely stopping. All right, so it's had to get dropped off. So I walked from town back home this morning, realizing that why at 9:30 or 9:15 it was, 9:15 a.m. is it already so oppressive. So if you are someone that shouldn't be out in such elements or are directly affected by poor breathing days, poor air quality days, then maybe heed the warning. Don't go out if you don't have to. But here we are, another day to connect, another time to experience, to maybe learn, to maybe ponder, maybe something sparks you in today's teaching. And so we go. And so we begin. We are still exploring this week's Torah portion, which is the double portion, Matot Masai. And another powerful theme within this portion, as we talked about earlier in the week, we talked about journeys and the stops that were taken. But another powerful part of this teaching is about vows and responsibility. So it comes from the beginning of the first portion, Matot, and we learn laws related to vows, promises one makes to God, and then the importance of fulfilling them. So it's no different if you're making a vow to God or if you're making a vow to another person or you're making a vow to yourself. The importance is never necessarily on I've made a vow. The intention and the execution and the completion or the fulfillment of that vow or promise is, of course, most important. So Moses speaks to the Israelites about the seriousness of making a vow. They must be honored. They can't be taken lightly. In particular, the Torah emphasizes that a person's word has power. When we make a vow, we enter this sacred bond, and breaking that could have a spiritual or a communal or both kind of consequence. The concept of vows is not something new. It's not something that's only made in sacred relationship with a partner. Vows are things, it's similar to before Rosh Hashanah in the month of Elul when we're trying to figure out what the new year will be for us as we reflect on the year gone by. Vows can be something like the New Year's resolutions that we make and break, right? So we need to think about the concept of a vow being seen as like a reflection of personal integrity and accountability, right? Why would we make a vow if we knew that, or a promise, if we knew that there was no way that we would be able to complete it? No way that we could fulfill it. No way that we could hold on to it longer than a day, a two, a week, a minute. What's the point of it, right? The concept is that you make it, you work on it, you complete or fulfill it. And that's a reflection on your own personal integrity and accountability to yourself as you made that vow. In a world where commitments can be easily forgotten, and we know it's true, they can be easily broken. It happens all the time. It can be dismissed because its relevance is not so crazy, so it doesn't really mean so much, so who cares about it? No one's looking, no one's watching, no one cares. This teaching in Torah challenges us to consider how seriously we treat our promises, whether to ourselves or to others. Today, I think that this topic, this theme, this idea remains highly relevant. In relationships, it serves as a reminder of the power of our word. When we make commitments to loved ones, to friends, to colleagues, to bosses, we need to think about the weight of the words and then act in alignment with that which we're trying to execute. That's in our own relationships. In the community and in leadership, we're held accountable not only to our commitments, but also to the greater good. What are we doing this for? The greater good, just as the Israelites had to uphold their vows of well-being, of being part of a nation, today we need to live our lives in ways that reflect integrity and responsibility. In our own personal growth, so it's in relationships, it's in community, it's in leadership, in our own personal growth, making a vow or a resolution, whether it's to improve ourselves or to take on a new challenge, is a spiritual act. Just as the Israelites are called to uphold their vows, we have to be also steadfast in honoring the promises that we make to ourselves for growth and self-improvement. This isn't rocket science. This is called reminder. This is called, wow, we know this in our head. Wow, Torah, even though it's from how long ago, still can reflect things that we should be holding on to now. Reminds me of a song that was written for Etz Chaim. It's a tree of life to those who hold fast to it, and all its supporters are happy. Maybe you grew up also knowing this. Maybe not. But Etz Chaim, Torah, the tree of life. We hold on to these teachings and then we bring them to here, to this moment in time. The contemporary lens could frame this as the importance of keeping our promises, whether personal relationships or professional obligations or spiritual commitments. This is about being people who are trusted and whose word can be relied on. So let's reflect on this on a personal level as we slowly slide into Shabbat together. What vows or promises have we made that need to be reviewed, and honored? Where in our lives can we be more steadfast in the commitments to others, to ourselves, and to God? As we near Shabbat, and tomorrow I'll be leading services in the morning also, and we'll hear Torah chanted and talk a little bit more about the Parsha. But as we prepare for Shabbat to arrive, when we're back here together at 6:30, let's try to think about what vows or promises have we made that need to be renewed and honored, and where in our lives can we be more steadfast in keeping the commitments to others, to ourselves, and to God. Together, we're doing the holy work, which is reflecting on the vows and commitments and responsibility as a way of importance, to remind ourselves that the most important part is that our words have power, and the importance of making promises is not declaring the promise, but rather working towards fulfillment. We are one human family, one heart of abundant love. We love you. We can't thank you enough. The gratitude that we have for showing up every day. Jennifer and Aileen, Bet, Bonnie, Linda, Corey, Elisa, whoever else is watching that hasn't checked in. The blessing is that we promise to ourselves to commit to showing up here, and we're doing it. And you're doing it. And together, this is the strength of our community. Am Yisrael Chai. The Jewish people will live. We love you. Guess what? I'll see you back here at 6:30. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. 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 Or Avinu Chai. Maybe one of those promises could be to drink a little extra water. Let's make it a vow. See you back here at 6:30, everyone. Have a great day.